Hello everyone, I'm Zihao Li. In this presentation, I will explain the social problem of social isolation among international students through a social marketing lens. I will explain why this issue matters, analyze it using system thinking, identify the behaviors and the competing forces involved, and circuits creating responses and then propose recommendations for future social marketing programs. Social isolation does not simply mean being physically alone. In this connect, it refers to be limited meaningful social connection, a weak sense of belonging, and difficulty integrating into university and community life. So this matters because the university is not only an academic space, it is also where students build friendships, confidence, support network, and the sense of identity. When international students feel disconnected, the impact can be significant, affecting well being, academic performance, participation, and retention. Importantly, the issue is often framed too narrowly, as though international students just need to be more confident or more outgoing. However, that explanation is incomplete and ignores the wider system shaping students' experiences. This issue is well suited to a social marketing approach. Social marketing is not just about promoting message. It is a strategist approach to influencing behavior for social good. It focuses on the lived experience of participations, users research to understand the barriers and motivations, considers completing behaviors, and recognizes that social problems are shaped by systems rather than individuals alone. This is especially relevant here because international students are not a single. Uniform and group and social isolation is not cased by one simple factor. A social marketing perspective helps move the discussion beyond blaming students and toward designing a more supportive environment. The system analysis shows that this issue is shaped by multiple correcting levels. At the individual level, international students may face language barriers, unfamiliar academic expectations, homesickness, and anxiety about fitting in. Even small decisions such as speaking in class or attending an event can carry emotional risk. At the interpersonal level, peer relationships also matter. Domestic students also already have the aspirations friendship groups, which can make social entry difficult. And meanwhile, international students may prefer to stay within familiar, conventional, or same language circles because this feels safer and easier to access. That behavior is understandable, but if universities in practice simply a self-sanctification and they miss the deeper reason behind it. The issue becomes even clearer at the institutional and the structural levels. Universities may promote inclusion, yet belonging often treated as secondary rather than built into the student's experience. Orientation programmers are usually short and general, and support survivals may not always feel circularly approaching or accessible. Beyond the campus, many international students face financial pressure, long work hours, commenting challenges, and unstable housing. So many also enterprise racism or stable inclusions in classrooms, workplace, or public life. These conditions make social connected harder, and even when students want to be participated, so social isolation is not just a personal issue. It is connected to the broader systems of education, labor, housing, and migration. So here I want to ask a really important question. What is compacting with social connection? If we want international students to join activities and make friends or ask for support, we also need to understand why and does not always happen. One factor is emotional self protection. Staying with familiar people often feels safer than entering a new social space. Another is time poverty, and many students are balancing study, work, and commuting. So they may not have the time or energy to join in. We also have the digital substitution, and talking to friends and family online can feel easier than building local relationships. And then there is a stigma around helping seeking, where students may feel embarrassed asking for support. And finally, familiar groups offer comfort and safety, so stepping outside them can feel risky. If we look at current university responses, there are definitely some positive, like organization events, peer monitoring, and well-being companies. But I think these responses still have some clear limits. First, they are often too individualist. They suggest that students just need to be more confident or more involved. And second, they are often too granic. International students are treated as one board group, even though their experiences are very different, and many responses are too focused on one-off events. A single welcome activity might help for a day, but it can now slow ongoing issue like belonging, and there is often too little structural change. Universities may aid activities, but they do not always change the deeper conditions that make connection difficult. This issue becomes even more important when we look at it through circle diversity and social justice. Okay, the first access to support is unequal. Some students cannot attending activities because of work, transport, or timing, and equity is not the same as treating everyone the same. Students face different barriers, so equal support does not always mean fair support, and students should help designing solutions, not just receive them. If universities do not involve the international students in the progress, they may have misunderstanding what students actually need. So diversity should be respected in a real way, not just celebrated symbolically. And it's easy to say a campus is multi-circle, but it means little of students still experience exclusion, language barriers, or reasons. So based on this analysis, I have four main recommendations. The first, universities should provide whole of journal support, not just activities during original week. Belonging should be supported before students arrive, during their transition, and throughout the academic year. And second, universities need to use segmentation because the international students are not all the same. Different groups face different barriers, so support should be more targeted. And third, programmers should be co-designed with students. Instead of making decisions for international students, universities should involve them in shaping surveys and activities. Fourth, universities need to address competition directly. If time is a barrier, support should be built into classes or normal study rotation. And if fear or weakness is a barrier, small and lower pressure for most, like buddy systems or guys small groups, may work together. So at the same time, success should not be measured only by attendance. I need to look at fairness, include and accessibility, and ask who is still being left out. So to the conclusions, social isolation among international students is now simply a personal difficulty, and it is a complex system problem shaped by individual, social, institution, and structural factors. That is why psychosocial marketing offers a stronger response. It pushes us to move beyond blaming students and instead design belonging into university life in a more international, inclusive, and social just the way. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Here is a reference.